So a question we get asked a lot is, how do we take what's on stage behind me and turn that into a stream? And the answer is a little bit complicated. Hey guys, welcome back to the Braves Esports channel, and today we're going to be talking about streaming. So for most people, this is what a streaming setup looks like. You're going to need about a mid-tier level PC, and all you need to set up this stream is a webcam, whatever game you want to play, and a free software, either OBS or Streamlabs, whatever you want to use, and you're pretty much good to go. Now, if you want to upgrade from here, what most people do once they start taking streaming more serious or maybe a little higher production value, you're going to add a second computer. Ta-da! So what the second computer is going to do is be solely for outputting your stream, which is going to allow you to output a higher resolution stream since you're not using the same components to run your stream as you are your game. Once you upgrade to this level, running 2 PCs, you got your stream on one, you've got your game on the other, you got your webcam, maybe you add some fancy lighting in or something. That's pretty much as fancy as it gets, as complicated as it gets, and it'll work for most people. However, the Braves Esports program is not like most people. And instead of doing this, this is what we use. This is the Braves Esports stage. This is where we play all of our competitions, tournaments, practices, scrims, you name it, it happens on this stage. However, this stage is also a full-fledged, built-out media production studio. Everything on this stage is able to be live broadcasted onto Twitch. And in a little bit, I'm going to show you exactly how we do that. So this is the typical setup that we have on stage. These are kind of like our pods or whatnot. And it's pretty much exactly the same as what you saw back there. Each station's gonna have, its own mid-tier gaming setup, mouse, keyboard, headsets, and camera. The difference is everything on here is made for a production studio. So this camera does not plug into the computer like a simple setup. This is an SDI feed camera, which means it doesn't plug into the computer. It goes into a live mixer. This display also has to be put through that same mixer, which means we have to take the HDMI feed from here, feed it into basically an Elgato on steroids, convert it to SDI, and send it upstairs so that all of this can be live mixed by our team that you'll see in a little bit. Still not done because we still need audio. So what we have to do in order for the people on stage to be able to hear what's going on and communicate with each other is run an audio splitter on the computers so that they can output into your headset and your microphone so that you guys can all talk to each other on stage. But we can then also send that as a separate feed through the Terranex system to be able to live mix it upstairs as well so that we can hear either your Discord, your in-game volume, or both. Confusing, right? It gets even more confusing, I promise. So how this works is that this camera is actually an SDI-fed camera that's going to route through down here, through the middle, and back into the wall plate, which will be sent up to our second floor production studio, as well as the output from here. So the monitor is going to run off a DisplayPort, and we also have an HDMI out. The outputs are going to be duplicated so that whatever you're seeing on here is also output through this HDMI cable, which is going to run again down to the center of the stage back to what we call our Elgato on steroids. It's a giant black magic box that will then convert it to the same output as this webcam so that they can all be fed into the same mixer so that we can live display whatever we want to on stage here. This is the previously mentioned Elgato on steroids. What you're looking at is a 12 input Blackmagic system where every single HDMI feed will be ran through here, converted, and then ran through our wall plate so that it will enter the same feed like the webcams do, for example. It's set up for 12 so that we can run a 12-person live event on stage with being able to watch every single person's computer as well as webcam. Now from here, they're all going to run into this back plate back here and up into the second floor. But I think we'll go ahead and hop up there and I'll show you what that looks like. Welcome to the production studio of our arena. So one side note, we have live lighting in here. Obviously, a normal stream might have like LED strips in the back or something like that. We've got a full-blown lighting set here so that on this live mixer here, I can make the lights look like this. I can make them look like this. I can make them do that. I can do this. I can go like that. whatever I want to do, I can set up the lights up here so that it gives a nice ambiance or setup for any of the shots that we do on stage. It just makes the whole presence look pretty cool. And also we have fog machines. So. Yeah, I know, pretty cool. Now this does two really cool things. One, it allows us to completely separately mix the audio that the audience can hear in here, but on top of that, we can live mix all of the different microphones in this arena and audio inputs to how we want. So we have shoutcasters up here, we have kids playing on stage, we've got a guy on the mic. We can live mix from here if we want to hear the shoutcaster over the game audio, if we just want to hear game audio, if we want to throw it down to the stage and just hear the interviewer. All of that can be mixed and live right here by someone, so that we don't have to deal with anyone talking over each other or any issues like that. It's just by moving these around, you can figure out however you want. Pretty cool. Also takes a lot of work. All right, let's talk video feeds now. As I said, everything gets converted to an SDI feed so that we can live switch through this board and these screens right here. So basically, I can then switch through any camera that's live on in this entire arena. I can put that as the main screen, or I can put that as an overlay on top of any other feed I want. So I can put a video, I can put a Shoutcaster webcam on top of gameplay, I can put a stage cam with the Shoutcasters on top, or I can switch through any of the gameplay and put it on live through this mixer just by pressing any of the buttons on here. So for example, your basic layout downstairs where you have a Logitech webcam plugged into a PC, in order to do that with the equipment on stage, that all has to run up through here and then be live mixed to put that output on top of the other output to make it look like it would through your OBS program or something like that. So let's talk Shoutcasters next. So unlike the original setup where the Shoutcaster is just the person streaming, they've got a little microphone, they talk to it, whatever, it's a little more complicated here. So this is our shoutcasting station. It's gonna have either one or two microphones plugged in up here. We just don't have the second one plugged in right now. For two people to be able to talk up here. Now these get live mixed into the audio mixer like I just talked about. But what are they looking at? Well, they have two screens. One is going to be a standalone computer. This is going to be to control the Twitch, to be able to chat, view what's going on there, or any notes that they may need, depending on what kind of match it is, who we're playing, if it's a game like Hearthstone, what decks we're running, things like that. You can leave notes up here without having to look away from the camera, and then also monitor the Twitch stream. But then what the second screen is actually a live output of what's going to be on the stream. The reason this is important is because on most of our tournaments, there's a 3-minute delay, which means that if the Shoutcaster was just watching the tournament, he would be watching it 3 minutes behind, which would leave the audience here kind of left clueless. So instead, they have the 3-minute delay stream here, but over here, this computer is routed through this middle section into the streaming computer, which I'll show you next, as a live projector, so we can see exactly what's about to go on stream in real time, which is really important. So with that, let's hop over to the streaming setup. This is kind of the simple part, because out of everything that I showed you, we are basically an operating crew for what you do on OBS or Streamlabs. So instead of having to set up different scenes and different overlays and all of these different things, realistically, all our streaming computer has to do is upload the stream. So everything that we're doing, all of the live mixing, everything that happens gets mixed all the way down to one SDI cable, which just outputs as a USB plug-in. So we plug this into our streaming computer and it will live put out everything that we've got going on here. So really the computer that's hooked up here, only job is to output in as high a resolution and bit rate as it can the stream that we have going on in here, which makes this person's job in reality the easiest out of the whole production crew. So that's a quick overview of how we produce our streams here at Braves Esports Arena. It's not the easiest way to do it by any means. In fact, it's extremely complicated, but the reason that we do it this way is as we continue growing this program, it allows us to have a professional level of production for our streams, but it also gives our players and the people here working on this experience that they can use in the real world, because this equipment is what you're going to see, or at least a version of it, in real production studios and ESPN bands and things like that. So to get the students actually training on this equipment is really important, because it's real world experience that can transfer into a future career in esports, media production, whatever it may be. It was kind of a quick tour, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it makes sense. If you do have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, that's gonna do it. Make sure to tune into our stream. It's twitch.tv/Braves_esports. We usually go live 2-3 times a week. It's a really fun time, and we're working on improving it every single week. We have a lot of equipment that's brand new here that we're still learning, but we're getting better and better every week, and we would appreciate you guys stopping by. My name's Coach Olney, and that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.